All right, boys, I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is BlackRock is probably going to be getting the first spot ETF, and this is going to send crypto and Bitcoin to the moon. The bad news is BlackRock is going to probably be getting a spot ETF, and this is basically going against everything that Bitcoin and crypto stands for. According to this article by CNBC, BlackRock files for a spot Bitcoin ETF with Coinbase as the crypto custodian. This is going to be interesting, especially since Coinbase is obviously being sued by the SEC, and hopefully Larry Fink is going to have a little bit of a talk with Gary Gensler, and then maybe they'll drop this lawsuit, or maybe Larry Fink, since he's so powerful, he'll pull some strings and get Gary Gensler fired, and then they'll ultimately drop this lawsuit anyway. Since BlackRock owns about 25% of almost every business out there in existence, I would say that they have a lot of pull, and they're probably going to get their way. As this article by CoinDesk says, BlackRock may have even found a way to get the SEC's approval for their spot Bitcoin ETF. It says the asset management giant included a surveillance sharing agreement in its proposal, which could eliminate the risk of market manipulation related to Bitcoin. Or at least that's the narrative that we're going with, I guess, because obviously if BlackRock turns out to own about 25% all of the Bitcoin in existence, like they own 25% of almost every single company in existence, then I think they're probably going to be able to pull off a little bit of market manipulation. But I digress. It goes on to say BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust application to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission this week might stand a better chance than the previous attempts by other fund managers, thanks to the promise of a surveillance sharing agreement between exchanges. On page 36 of the NASDAQ, where the proposed ETF will be listed, it stated that to mitigate against market manipulation, NASDAQ will be brought in to enter into a surveillance sharing agreement with the operator of a spot trading platform for Bitcoin. Surveillance sharing agreements allow for the sharing of information about market trading activity, clearing activity, and customer identification, allowing for little possibility of market manipulation. So basically, it lets these big companies know all of the stuff that's going on with all of the trading and who's doing the trading. This might be able to help them spot out market manipulation that's going on that isn't actually them doing the manipulation, but I don't think this is going to stop the big players from doing the manipulation because it's actually going to give them all of the information that they need to manipulate the market in the first place. But whatever, I guess this is pretty much inevitable anyway. These big companies are going to be getting into crypto, and the government is going to be regulating crypto as well. I don't think that we need to give up ground on any of these things, and I don't think that we obviously need to give up any of our rights or the core principles of cryptocurrency in general. But the government is going to try to erode them, and eventually they're going to probably take some of that power back. And big companies like BlackRock and Larry Fink getting into Bitcoin means that basically they're going to have ultimate power. And if you don't get in ahead of them, then you're probably going to get left behind, and they're going to ultimately gain most of the power and leave you as a minority again. Luckily, all of us got into Bitcoin and crypto before BlackRock got this spot ETF, because after all of this happens, I think it's probably going to be pretty much unaffordable. And the only people that are going to escape the crappy future that they're going to be bringing with the WEF is the people that got in early. As Lark Davis said in this tweet, BlackRock manages about $10 trillion in assets. Only about 10% of all Bitcoin is sitting on exchanges, so about $50 billion worth of Bitcoin. 0.05% of BlackRock's money moving into Bitcoin would buy every single Bitcoin available, or all of those $50 billion worth of Bitcoin. If this happens, then there's going to be a supply crunch, obviously, and this is probably going to just send Bitcoin skyrocketing, and it's going to be the craziest Bitcoin bull market of all time. And it's probably never going to be coming back because it will have finally reached actual institutional adoption. And these are not the kind of people that sell and panic sell during a bear market. During a bear market, these guys are going to continue to accumulate so that they can continue to accumulate power and take it all away from you guys. So if you've been selling Bitcoin recently, then you've probably been selling it to BlackRock. And unfortunately, you were probably just giving all of the power to the enemy. But don't worry, because there's still time to continue to accumulate, because this spot Bitcoin ETF hasn't been totally approved yet. They just put in the application for it today, and it's probably going to be, in my opinion, approved by the end of the year. And whenever that does happen, I think it's going to signal the beginning of the bull market if it hasn't begun already. So between now and then, I'm going to be trying to pick up as much Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies as I can, because I know that there's not much time left to pick up while the price is down low like it is right now. In bearish news, I'm sure you guys heard about the deep peg for Tether that happened this week. And as you can see, it has recovered to $1, but it's not back up to where it was before. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if it's definitely out of the woods. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. According to this article by Cointelegraph, it says, the curve pool imbalance triggered a USDT depeg concerns, and the Tether CTO calls it FUD. From what I've heard, apparently some really big whale did some arbitrage and figured that he could make some money by shorting the heck out of Tether real quick. And whenever he cashed out and settled everything, the algorithm or whatever that runs Tether and keeps it pegged to $1 was able to catch up, and I guess it's kind of stabilized itself a little bit here. But I've been thinking that Tether could be in trouble for quite some time now, because apparently they have, according to this, $53 billion worth of treasury bills, and this is the stuff that's been taking down banks recently because of the interest rate risk. I know they've been buying Bitcoin and stuff like that, so hopefully they've hedged that interest rate risk and they're not going to have any kind of problems or deep peg again. And I don't really think it's going to happen, because I've been hearing FUD about Tether for years and years and nothing's happened to it yet. So kind of like people say that the XRP case is going to be ending any day, I'll believe it when I see it. And from what I can tell, this has just been a test for the Tether situation, and I guess it held up pretty good, so hopefully it's going to hold strong. Looking here at the Bitcoin chart, it does look like Bitcoin is still trading within this channel right here. It did break down below this upward trending support line though. But as I've said in the past, if the price only hits a trend line 2 times, then that's not really enough to make a trend, and it's really hard to see if this is actually the level of support that we were looking for. As a matter of fact, it seems like it came down and bounced perfectly off of this green line, which is a level of support that I've been looking at for quite some time. And hopefully this BlackRock news is going to be enough to break us up out of this bull flag right here and send us to the price target of about $40,000. So I'm just going to move this trend line down here a little bit to the bottom of this wick. And I guess we'll find out here in a few days if we are ultimately going to break out of this bull flag and make it to $40,000, or if we have to come back down here to fill that CME gap that I was talking about at $20,000, which would put us in the danger of making a lower low. And ultimately, whatever happens here, I think we're going to find out real soon if we are actually in the beginning stages of a bull market, or if we have another leg down and a lower low to go. In the meantime, don't forget to head over to onlygoodcrypto.com and pick yourself up some Only Good merch, because when you wear Only Good, you're going to feel Only Good. So don't forget to do Only Good every day and get yourself some of the Only Good merch. Don't forget, for a limited time, we've got these I've Survived the Crypto Winter shirts with diamond hands, and we even have a version with the frozen head of Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto. Once again, these are for a limited time, and if you really feel like supporting the channel, go on over there and get yourself one of these official Only Good t-shirts. It's the official t-shirt of the Only Good Crypto channel. So head on over to Only Good Crypto right after this video and check it out today. And let me know in the comments, do you guys think that BlackRock is going to get this spot ETF approved? Or do you think that the SEC is going to shoot them down and send crypto down with them? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. This is Abisu. He's named after one of the 7 lucky gods of Japan. According to legend, he will bring wealth and prosperity to anybody who evokes his name. So don't forget to write his name in the comments, or you'll bring dishonor to your whole portfolio. And check out this video right here. Say goodbye, Abisu.